When you've got questions, he always has an answer. It's Sean Hannity, this afternoon at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So President Trump sat down with Tucker Carlson the other day for an extended interview. This after he met with a little buddy in North Korea.
Little roly-poly.
President Trump updating us of sorts on the state of play with China and trade.
What we're going to do is they're going to buy a lot of farm product. We're not going to increase tariffs at this moment, and we'll see what happens with the negotiation. But we had a very good meeting.
Oh.
So we've been hearing that for a while, but you did have that statement coming on the heels of small but substantive steps away from confrontation with the opening of the supply chain to Huawei for all intents and purposes, and the expression that China would be upping their purchase of U.S. ag goods. So is that a sign that the end of the tariff escalation is near? Well, why don't we ask our friend Steve Moore, noted economist, Wall Street Journal columnist, New Trier grad. Steve Moore, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Happy 4th of July.
Happy Independence Day to you, sir. So where are we with China, do you think?
Well, we're in good shape, I think. A lot better shape than I thought we were, a month ago. And it looks like they are going to cut a deal. And I think it's not going to be a great deal, but, it's going to open up some of the markets for American products over in China, which is something Trump has really been asking for. I was a little surprised that he gave up so much on Huawei, because Huawei was the big chip that he had, obviously. And, it sounded like that was the number one thing that China wanted resolved, because that's their biggest company. That's their Google. And they can't allow that company to suffer billions of dollars of losses. But all in all, I'm happy about the state of affairs, and I think that this means that Trump is going to be pretty home free on the economy now going into 2020 election. I could see 3 to 4% growth next year with no trade war lingering. And if that happens, Dan and Amy, I think you're talking about, Trump winning a pretty solid re-election. I mean, I think he could win.
What about a second round of tax
states.
cuts?
Sorry?
What, a second round of tax cuts?
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, I'm sure Trump would like to do some more. There's a lot of talk right now about indexing capital gains taxes. Capital gains tax is not indexed for inflation. So if you buy a stock for, say, shares of stocks for $30,000, and then, 7 years later there were 60,000, but 10,000 of that is inflation, you have to pay taxes on the inflation gain. And there is some talk in the White House of basically saying, well, the gain is actually what you made after inflation, not inflation. And that would reduce the tax on stock transactions, and that would be positive for the economy. But look, I mean, if you think about it this way, we've had the tax cut, which has been hugely important to the economy. We've done the deregulation. We've got a very pro-business atmosphere out there right now. And then the trade war, I always thought, was like the one big black cloud on the horizon. You put that aside, I'm not buying in any of this talk about a recession on the horizon. I just what would cause a recession? You've got a really positive, low interest rates, low inflation, low taxes, less regulation. It's a beautiful, beautiful environment for Trump to run re-election. And I think he made a strategic decision to put aside some of his beef with China, because he didn't get a lot out of this deal. He got some concessions, but China didn't make major concessions. But it puts aside this trade dispute until after the 2020 election, I think. Now, this is not a done deal, and
Right.
Obviously there's a big difference between what China says they're going to do and what they actually do.
Now, we've got the ADP report just came out in terms of June employment. Revised May job creation up from 27,000 to 41,000. Still a bad month, but nonetheless.
Sorry, what was that revision? I couldn't quite hear what you said.
From 27,000 in May to 41,000. So revised up a bit.
You mean the jobs?
Yeah, job numbers. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's still not a great number. But
No,
we got a
right.
big jobs report on Friday.
Right,
on July 5th. Are you guys going to be working on July 5th?
Sure we
no,
are.
but we'll
No,
talk
yeah.
about it on July 8th or whatever. But
Okay. Because I will be on Fox with Maria Bartiromo when that jobs report comes out, so we'll be talking about that. But that's an important one. And look, the economy has slowed down a bit this summer, no question about it. Factory orders are down, trucking, shipments are down from where they were. I mean, it's not. It's hugely negative, but it's not as strong as it was in the spring when we had a 3%, 3.1% growth. So, but I open the papers every morning and I see, this economist or that economist, all your good friends, Dan, say, the recession is right around the corner. Did you know this recovery we are in right now? This is worth celebrating. Actually, it's something makes you proud to be an American. That we are now the recovery began officially in June of 2009. From the Great Recession. And here we are in July of 2019. So the recovery is now 10 years old. That's, I believe, the longest uninterrupted, recovery in at least, since the Great Depression. So we're living in a pretty prosperous era right now.
Yeah, exactly, which is why crackerjack states like Illinois should gird their loins for when we have a downturn.
You're the sore thumb on
exactly.
the picture. And it's just sad. I mean, I hear that now people are paying higher gas taxes.
Oh, yeah, doubled.
I know the Democrats promised they weren't going to raise taxes on middle-class people. I guess they don't think middle-class people drive cars.
Steve, you don't understand Illinois economics. Taxes are job creators. Tax increases create jobs.
Governor Pritzker said, and I'm not kidding you, he said that the gas tax, doubling of it, the revenue of that is going to go to infrastructure, which is going to bring companies to Illinois.
Yeah.
Since if we have paved highways, people are going to move their companies.
We're finally paving our roads in Illinois, so it's going to be that much more attractive.
But what it does mean is when the companies leave Illinois, they're going to fill up their tanks when they get over the Illinois border.
Yeah.
No, people are driving.
Illinois.
Yeah.
By the way,
they'll have a
Indiana,
nicer drive out too.
I don't know if you guys have been following the numbers, but Indiana is doing great these days, and Indiana has so profited from the stupidity of Illinois. I mean, you've got a lot of companies that now have and homeowners who actually live in Indiana, even though a lot of them do business in the Chicago area.
Oh, there's no question about that.
We're very familiar with their work.
Speaking of stupidity, I wanted to get your take on Arizona Governor Doug Ducey's response to Nike by pulling the incentives that were going to be provided Nike to locate a plant in Goodyear, Arizona.
So, as I understand it, I saw something on this story yesterday that he's removing some of these subsidies.
Yes.
He's taking away all the
Yeah,
incentives.
now the company. What
no
company
tax
is
breaks.
it again?
Nike. Over the Colin Kaepernick. Rescind your Betty Ross flag shoe. They did, and so now Doug Ducey is rescinding the tax breaks for them to locate in Goodyear, Arizona.
Well, good for Doug Ducey. I mean, I believe in lower taxes. I believe in a stable, and a level playing field. But I don't believe in corporate welfare. I don't believe in giving special goodies to companies that have lobbyists and have the political influence. I mean, that's Illinois politics, and it doesn't work very well. So, good for Doug Ducey. I wish you did more of that in Illinois. And by the way, once you move away, if you ever move away from your flat tax in Illinois, which is what
that'll happen
Governor
in
Pritzker wants to do,
a year and a
then
half.
it's going to be a lobbying free-for-all. Every company is going to get their own tax rate.
Yeah, right.
Well, but Doug Ducey, the governor of Arizona, I mean, he's hurting his constituents. It's a $185 million plant that was going to be built and was going to employ 500 to 1,000 people. I think it's stupid because they're going to go elsewhere.
You mean now they're saying that they're not going to build it, or?
Well, yeah, there's a possibility it's really good that Nike is going to choose, the Phil Knight is going to choose another location for the plant.
That'll give them tax breaks, of course.
Well, I mean, look, remember the backbone of American industry and American economy is the small business one, not the major businesses that employ thousands and thousands of workers. The 27 million small businesses that hire 10 or 15 or 20 workers. And why should they have to pay more taxes so that the big guys pay less taxes? I mean, if you think that's fair, I guess, I just don't see the fairness in that. And so I'm with Ducey. No more corporate welfare.
I'm with you and Ducey. He is Steve Moore. Trumponomics is the book. Trumponomics, Inside the America First Plan to Revive Our Economy. Steve, thanks for joining us. We'll watch you with Bart Roma on Friday.
All right. See you guys. Take care.
Take care.
Bye. Oh, we didn't ask him if he was going to go to the Trump parade. Darn.
Yeah, he's going to be Yankee Doodle Dandy.
He's going to be on one of those military tanks. And Stephen Moore joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
If you're talking about it, Dan and Amy are talking about it. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM